Alright, Chris, so I actually know how to respond in a week, unlike some of us. I know when videos are posted I pay attention to things. And it's obvious that you used your extra week of response time to look up the answers to my 3 questions. And yes, you are correct, it would take 5 minutes because the machines don't make things any faster. It is $1.05 and a nickel respectively between the bat and the ball. And the half-life is 47 days? I don't know. I don't remember what the hell the questions were exactly. Anyway, today I am drinking 14 Hand Sauvignon Blanc 2014. It's a wine that my wife picked up for some cooking. It's pretty good. I was originally going to drink it out of a frozen Sven cup, 89-cent plastic kids party cup, but I didn't think that was that classy. So while we were at Daiso, Japan, I actually got myself a nice wine glass. It's a European style wine glass. But I can't be too classy now, can I? Anyway, we talked about scribes and things like that, or you mentioned it, with the Bible, and I thought it was really interesting. I was wondering if you had ever heard of the Oxyrhynchus, I think is how you say it, papyri. There's a garbage dump in an Egyptian town known as Oxyrhynchus. And in there, they found the normal kind of stuff that people throw away. Books, letters, normal kind of garbage, broken household goods stuff. And one of the things they found that was really interesting in there was they found a lot of early Christian documents that people had thrown away. Not because they didn't believe them or anything like that, but just because the documents were so prevalent that people were just like, oh, you know, I've got an extra copy, so whatever. At least that's what they think, because the papyri that they found were actually in pretty good shape. And one of the most interesting things that they discovered about it was in the book of Revelations. As it turns out, the number of the beast, 666, in some of the earlier documents is actually 616. So the basis of so many phobias and just ridiculousness in horror movies is completely wrong, because you shouldn't be afraid of 666. You should be afraid of 616, which I've always found interesting. On the subject of scribes, though, I actually listened to a book, an audiobook that I got from the Overdrive app through my local library, Bartleby the Scribe. I had apparently actually read this previously, sometime in college. I don't remember exactly when. It is a very strange book. I strongly suggest you either read it or listen to it. It's real short. It's not actually a book. It's more like a short story. It's very short, very interesting, and I would prefer that you do. And if you've actually read it or you know what I'm talking about, then that line makes a lot of sense. My general feeling on world religions is it's really how it goes for most of them. My wife did actually find something. She works in a library, and she found me this. It's Dinosaurs for Kids by Ken Ham. I'm not sure if you know who Ken Ham is, but he is a very big apologist. He's a young earther. He's a lunatic. This is my favorite page. Yes, these are dinosaurs on the Ark. Noah took dinos on the Ark. When you leave the Abrahamic religions, get away from Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, my feelings about them tend to alter. I don't really know that much about the Hindi religions. About Hindi. I don't know much about some of the polytheistic faiths of India. The Eastern philosophies I know a bit about. What I really tend to take from them more is the philosophical side of things. The ideas of how people should be. A lot of Taoism I just don't like. As I've read more and more Taoism, it's strange, and it's definitely based on ancient thought of a man in a patriarchal society. And I don't go in for that. I think everybody has a place, and everybody is equal. I'm egalitarian, so I don't care who you are or what you do. I'm going to assume you're an idiot because you're a human being. It's just generally how I tend to function. I'm currently reading a book called What We See When We Read. I can't remember the author's name. It's interesting. It's very interesting. It's extremely visual, which is kind of humorous given its subject matter. It's very pompous, and some of it I really agree with, and some of it just sounds like the author is rattling off, and I'm not a big fan of that. So that kind of goes in with how I feel about a lot of religions. The religious leaders are just kind of rattling things off the top of their heads that don't make a lot of sense to me, and I just can't get behind that. It is important to note in this past week, as I sip my wine through my straw, August 6th was the 70th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima, or Hiroshima, however you like to pronounce it. 70 years ago, this past Thursday, we dropped one of the worst weapons ever created by man on a city full of people. And there are still people affected by it today. KUOW has been running a lot of stories through NPR. KUOW is a local NPR station out here, run through the University of Washington, about the survivors and the families of them. And it's heartbreaking. I have a very odd perspective on it because it is atrocious that we did that, but it was war. And we saved more lives by annihilating a city with an atomic weapon than we would have by not using it, because the war would have gone on longer and we would have killed more people. So it's a good thing that we did it, but for anybody out there who is even vaguely connected with it, you have my sympathies. Not nearly as funny this time around. I'm sorry. A little more deep. Alright, Chris. I'll see you later.